And so she went. AnnaLiese Dodds, the International Development Minister, has resigned. The fourth minister to leave Keir Starmer's government, but the first, I think, to do so on a matter of principle. Westminster had been abuzz with speculation about whether she would take a stand against Starmer's decision to slash the overseas aid budget to fund the higher defence budget spending. But after all, Dodds had been a loyal soldier in the Labour ranks, even accepting a demotion from Shadow Chancellor in 2021 without a murmur. Yet in the end, principle has won over pragmatism. But why did it take her so long? Dodds was only informed of the decision about the aid budget on Monday, she says, and she made up her mind to quit the same day. Yet she delayed her resignation until Starmer had completed his visit to Washington and met with President Trump, ensuring that the Prime Minister had a united cabinet behind him while he was in the States. While her decision to resign is a rare act of defiance in Starmer's disciplined government, her hesitation speaks volumes about Labour's internal tensions. This isn't merely a resignation over policy, it's an early skirmish in a wider battle within the Labour Party. And the fault lines between Starmer's centralised pragmatic leadership and the more traditional social democratic wing of the party are becoming clearer. While Labour's shift towards a more electorally palatable form of populism to repel reform is winning plaudits from some quarters, it's alienating the soft left, a group that had until now largely accepted Starmer's leadership without serious dissent. Harold Wilson's approach, which I thought was rather brilliant, was to keep all the troublemakers in the cabinet. And the significance of Dodds' departure lies in what it signals for future battles and how vocal she might be. The decision to cut aid from 0.5% to 0.3% of gross national income, despite previous Labour government pledges to restore it to 0.7%, is not just a policy choice, it's a statement about priorities. And Starmer has argued that increasing defence spending to 2.5% of GDP is necessary given the global security landscape. But Dodds had warned that this would come at the cost of Britain's international reputation, development commitments, and diplomatic influence. And her concerns are shared by others. David Lammy, the Foreign Secretary, repeatedly expressed his unease, but opted not to resign. Conservative Andrew Mitchell, Labour's Sarah Champion, both criticised the cuts, warning that they will weaken Britain's global standing and hand opportunities to Russia and China. Even Diane Abbott, rarely on the same page as Starmer's Labour, lamented that other ministers had not joined Dodds in resigning. Starmer, fresh from his diplomatic win in Washington, now faces the challenge of ensuring, maintaining, controlling party unity, and his response to Dodds' resignation was measured, praising her work and leaving the door open for a return. But this episode raises an uncomfortable question. How far can Starmer push his party towards the centre before the soft left begins to openly rebel? Labour's next battles over welfare, immigration and spending cuts will test the resilience of this uneasy coalition, and the spectre of more resignations looms. Dodds may not lead a full-scale revolt, but she has sharpened the contours of an emerging divide within Labour, and her resignation is unlikely to be the last act of dissent. As Starmer continues to consolidate his authority, he must ask himself, does the Labour Party still recognise itself in the mirror that he holds up to it? And if not, how many more AnnaLiese Dodds moments are there to come?